This is a bit of a funky situation because I was originally intrigued by this post because of the title, right? How do some people manage everything and still never be tired? And I was about to answer that, and then I read the post, and the post is about something fairly different. So I want to take a little bit of time, not a long time, but a little bit of time to get you thinking about this. Basically, roommate dragged me to a party with her other friends, and then there was this other girl, and she has everything. All of us graduated recently. She's working at a trading firm that pays blah blah blah. Comfortable with everyone in the room. Meeting half the first time. Really pretty and one of the smartest people according to the memory. Jealousy, demotivated. I've never been able to balance things so good. I can be either good in academics or good with people, but not at both. I'm trying year to improve. I try not to compare myself with others and so on, but I feel really behind. So, people who are able to balance everything, the title implies that the OP is tired, right? But it's not really mentioned here. But the tiredness is actually less important. What's actually happening, in my opinion, is this. This is not the type of thought that lives in the mind of people who do everything. Because why? People generally live lives that are a direct reflection of their belief system. So, what I really want to have you imagine today is this. Imagine you are this person, right? So, who knows if this person, like picture perfect person, is actually miserable? But we're not gonna assume that hypothetical. This person you met is working at a top company, really comfortable with everyone, pretty, and all the shebang, right? Okay, so I understand that. In this, try living in the shoes of this glamorous person for one day, right? They're gonna wake up, right? What are they gonna do in this really glamorous life? Are they going to wake up and start moving on about their day like TikToks do, motivational YouTube videos do, or are they gonna be like, oh fuck, I wanna, and then reach for their bong and be like, probably the first one, right? So these people, how try continuing living in their day to day, right? Do you think these people would stop and think about other people and compare them, or do you think these people would focus on what they are doing and just focus on living on that? Now, the more you think about the blueprint life of this perfect hypothetical person, the more you realize you're right. They wouldn't be doing any of these things, right? Because there's very little time to be spent for jealousy, because when you are living a good life, there's nothing really to be jealous of. Now, which leads me to talking about this. The point of that imagination of this perfect person's life is to get you to see that, oh, right, I gotta do things that really would set me on the right path. The point for you is to recognize, wow, I'm doing a lot of things that, yeah, when I look at my life right now and I look at my belief inventory, like I can see how it's a direct reflection. So, if I can change my belief inventory, I can live the life that I want to, or I can work backwards. I can start kind of like living life the way I want to, and then the belief inventory will update. Maybe it'll work backwards. So basically, this kind of a self-directed curiosity and engagement with your life is what I want, right? But what will inevitably happen to a lot of people is this: fuck, but I'm fucked. Oh, but that's so tiring. I don't want to live like that. And that's okay, right? But it's so important to be honest and real with yourself. When I want to speak French, I imagine me like being fully fluent in French when I go to France. But what it realistically means is I have to spend a lot of time studying French. I envision myself boarding, like surfing, like in the waves and everything, right? But in order to do that, I need to be wiped out like 10 times like I did today morning. So, for French, it'd be nice to be able to speak it, but I'm not necessarily interested in spending all the time learning French. For surfing, I'm also interested in getting wiped out because it's fun. Surfing is fun, regardless of whether I succeed or not. So, that's the trajectory of where my life will tend to go, right? So, just like that, I understand that you want those things. You want this, like, kind of a perfect life. But if you can clearly see that the day to day of the perfect life is not to your liking, you have to understand that it's, in this case, it's better for you to let go. And again, this can be met with, oh, but I don't want to, like, it's so unfair, right? Then you gotta understand that mentality is what's keeping you in place. Nothing you do, nothing you implement in your day to day is actually going to change your life, because the underlying belief is that it's unfair, the world is rigged against you. So, when I feel hungry deep in my heart, it doesn't matter how much I eat. I can eat until I want to puke, but then if there's a big gap in my soul, I'm still going to be hungry for more, right? Just like that. When I am deeply believing that I am unloved, it doesn't matter how many people come to me and celebrate me and call me. I'm not going to recognize any of that, and then I'm going to focus on my loneliness, right? So you have to understand that at your heart, if after all this advice and all the other people's advice and all the different ways of looking at it, and you try all of these things, but then the one conclusion that you come back to is like, oh man, it's so fucking hard, like, why is it? Then it may be that belief system that everything is so hard and everything's so fucked up and unfair and rigged against me. You're keeping that part, and that is what is responsible for creating your reality. It's not the things that you do, right? It's the energy you approach the things you do with. So you can keep your exact life, but switch the belief system on top of that, and then the same rituals that you do every day can make you really, really happy. And that's sort of the goal with these coaching things, right? Because we're not really interested in having you like pick up new hobbies and then being more productive and waking up early, right? I mean, I do that as part of my Buddhist practice because it makes me happy. The point is for you to not suffer. So, in summary, I want you to, if you want this kind of a life, I need you to really look at the things that the person who is living this kind of life would do and do that. But if you don't want to do that, you gotta learn how to let go and understand that this is not something you want in your life. But if you keep trying things and then everything and all the conclusion, everything that you do, if the one conclusion that you come back to is that everything is so hard and everything is unfair, you gotta look at that if you want to really change something about your life.